This is TWiT.
When you go into a bar,
Yeah.
you don't want to be wearing this, right? And this is the problem, I think, Google
I don't know.
Glass.
I think you'd be pretty hip if you came into a bar like, hey, guys,
or you
how's
get
it going?
beat up. This is the problem Google Glass ran into, right?
Well, I don't think you have, see, the Google Glass, you were tempted to go into a bar with it on. This, not so much. It's
yeah, you
more
would
like
know better.
Not unless you're security or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Andy Lowery is here. He's with a company called RealWear, and you've taken Google Glass to the next level. First of all, before you did RealWear, you actually were working on stuff like HoloLens, right? And Magically.
Yeah, I founded or co-founded the company Daiquiri back in 2010 with Brian Mullins, and the two of us went off on this mission to try to take augmented reality and bring it to industry. And
I'm excited by augmented reality.
Yeah, a lot of potential there. But what I learned sort of over that journey was we're in the business of knowledge transfer. We're in the business of how do we get that piece of knowledge in that person's head. You know, if it was Matrix days or Matrix times, you know, think about how she learned to fly that helicopter in a second. Hey, upload the program for Bell, you know, helicopter.
Yeah, if
so
only, right? Yeah, if only.
Well, we're not there yet. So what's the step towards that? And what we're doing is connecting people, connecting workers with machines, with other people.
So you could go onto a factory floor, you could go on an oil rig, and you might see somebody wearing something like this, right?
Absolutely.
Typically more of a hard hat than a TWiT cap, but
right.
We'll
get there, though.
Actually, this is your next generation. This is the HMT-1Z1. And this meets Class 1, Division 1, and ATEX Zone 1 certifications, which means what? You could wear this on an oil rig, right?
On an oil rig, it has virtually no way that it can be explosive. And so a lot of consumer electronics can make a spark. It can heat up to a unacceptable temperature. And in these gaseous environments, they can just blow. And this one is designed specifically to be allowed into those regions where other consumer electronics are not allowed.
So a guy could be working on an oil rig and say, well, okay, well, how do I fix this part? And there's a guy in Houston saying, okay, show me what you're seeing.
That's right.
And this will do it. You actually said you were using something like this.
We've been using this to train folks on basically how to use a camera. We were using glass, not this one specifically, but the same concept. And this would actually be a lot easier than glass because you can actually point the camera a little bit.
Well, let's talk about what the features of this, Andy. So,
sure.
So Alex is wearing is this a camera up here?
That's a camera and a flashlight, a big camera.
Turn a little bit this way so we can see it. So there's a LED light in there. And how high quality is that camera?
So you can think of this as like a GoPro Hero 6 type quality. Very, very high quality.
Much better than glass.
16 megapixel resolution and all the different sorts of improvements on stabilization and all that sort of stuff that you need to make very smooth video. So the video quality is extremely high.
So, but it's a two-way because this is a monitor, so you can see. Somebody back at Houston is seeing what you're seeing, but you can see what they're showing you. Right?
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely.
Or this might be a manual for instruction manual. It could be maps. It could be a lot of things, right?
Sure. We like to say that, you know, first of all, at RealWear, we are focused on safety, right? So the thing needs to be able to be worn outside. It needs to be worn in explosive environments.
It's IP66?
It's IP66, so you can dump it in water, you know, get it wet, get it, all of that sort of stuff. But at the same time, so safety's first, and then comes the idea of hands-free productivity, because at work you're wearing gloves. At work you have tools in your hands. At work you're doing things that require the use of hands in order to get the job done. So you don't have the luxury to take a handheld tablet and swipe and gesture and figure things out. You want something that's hand-free. Imagine someone working at the top of a wind tower, for crying out loud. I mean, last thing he wants to do is to take his tablet out and say, oh, let me swap around, and everything else is I'm standing 150 feet off the ground.
This is what I also found interesting. It's voice control.
Right.
So there's no mouse, there's no additional thing. Well, we were playing with it earlier. It's my voice only. You can't do a command. It knows it's me speaking.
Right. A series of highly tuned digital microphones basically focus beams in around the person wearing it. So noise around that person is filtered out. Of course, that works for me trying to give a command on your device that you don't want me to do, but it also works when you're in really high noise situations like a jet engine roaring right next to you that you're working on, or a big potato chip slicer is one of our use cases we have with PepsiCo, where it's just about 100 decibels of persistent noise there, just boom, boom, boom. works without a hitch.
You know, it's really interesting. The challenges of an industrial environment are so different than the challenges of something like Google Glass.
It is. Yeah.
But you've solved all of these. Now, I'm looking at this screen. Can you turn this on? Is it? I think it's sleeping. Because I'm actually wearing this, so I'm looking at this screen, and at first I thought, well, this is going to be a little distracting. You could put it in front of your eyes. You could put. That's another thing Glass wouldn't do. You could put this where it works for you.
And one of the things that I'm excited about with this is what I was primarily using Google Glass for was to record little hands-on videos.
Right.
So I want to show like how to use a little thing like this. I can go my camera, and then I can you know, show this and just record it and post it later.
Because you can see the output of that camera in the screen.
Right, yeah. If you're just taping something on or putting it on, I can actually look at it, and I'm actually able to manage my frame, you know, while I'm recording.
So I'm looking now at the screen. It's about the same as what you were saying, a 7-inch screen. If it were like this, about this big in front of me.
Right.
Very legible. I see these icons. You can see them too. That's what I'm seeing here. You're seeing right here in this screen. Right there. So I can actually, well, can I say my camera?
Let's.
Is it listening to me?
We'll make sure that the
we had to wire this a little bit oddly because
try it again now.
My camera.
There you go.
Yeah, went right to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Navigate back. My programs. So this is really cool. And by the way, notice it has an accelerometer. So as I turn my head, I'm scrolling through this. Now, you said we've got, Kyle is waiting for me to call him and help me put this helmet together.
Because you were wearing it at the beginning of the show kind of a little bit oddly.
I need a helmet with it.
You need a helmet to wear it because you're working and you need to have your head safe. And there's a lot of hard helmets out there in the world. There's not just one type, believe it or not. There's about 50 different types of hard helmets. So we have all these clips that fit different sorts of hard helmets.
What am I to do?
And Leo, your job is to find the right clips to put this thing on this.
If only I knew somebody who knew the answer.
Right.
So how do I call Kyle?
So why don't we go and start up the application by a great partner of ours called LibreStream named OnSite.
OnSite.
Okay, now we've called up. You see a couple experts there.
There's
One
Kyle.
of them's Kyle. Why don't we call Kyle?
Call Kyle.
Or say Kyle Furlick.
Kyle Furlick. This is so cool. It really is responsive. It's really amazing.
Yeah, the voice we do well.
More responsive than Kyle, apparently. Oh, there he is. Hi,
hey,
Kyle.
Leo.
Hey, Kyle. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm great. Now, is Kyle wearing one of these, or what does he use?
No, he's on a laptop on his side.
Okay.
So he sees a great big screen of everything you're seeing, and he's looking at what you're looking at, and he's talking to you. And so you're sharing not only a two-way call, but a two-way video stream that he can see on a great big screen to help walk you through something both visually and with voice.
So, Kyle, I got this problem here. Maybe you can help me. See this helmet? Maybe can I zoom out a little bit? Am I too close? There we go.
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and say zoom level 1.
Zoom level 1. Okay, good. So that's as far out as we can go.
Yeah, I think we are at basic.
Yeah, and then I have,
Great.
You can see this bag of clips. I don't know which clip I should use for this helmet. Do you have any suggestions for me here? I'm going to point the camera so we can see it, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like an MSA V-Guard front brim hard hat.
How did you know that? That's so amazing. Yeah, okay.
That's the only one that I trust.
It's a trick of the trade.
Yeah.
Go ahead, yep. If you could take a picture, you can send me a high-res photo.
Oh.
Go ahead and use the command, take picture.
Take picture. I love how responsive. This is so much better than Alexa.
Now say share.
Share. So,
Okay,
so this is going to be a better picture than you're getting in video because it took a little more time to send a single frame, so it's all 12 megapixels.
Exactly. And I can compensate on my end here for situations in which you have low bandwidth or low connectivity. So this just gives me the opportunity to see this very clearly, and I can tell you which clips we want to select here.
Okay.
Bear with me.
I shouldn't have moved the clips. I've moved them slightly, but I think I can find it. Go ahead, Tom.
That's okay. I'm circling the ones on the screen.
Oh, my God.
You're going to want to use.
Look at that. He actually is circling it, which makes it very easy for me to pick it up. I'll point the camera at it so you can see.
This guy over here, maybe.
Okay. Oh, am I flipped around, or it's the one by my left hand? Okay. So this is a really good example of how a remote tech can help me solve this problem because he can see what I'm seeing. He can even show me what to do by illustrating it.
Well, absolutely.
And one of the big problems that you always have with
Leo, go ahead and say stop sharing.
Stop sharing. Oh, good. Okay, so now you're seeing my video again.
But one of the things that is really important when we're doing anything technical, it's hard to put the absolute experts at every location. And so being able to actually call them, they can sit in a master control or a NOC and be able to answer those questions in real time for people who have good skill, but not the same level of skill.
Something maybe the viewers can identify with is all the new cars coming out nowadays are basically computers on wheels. And so the technicians that are used to changing a cylinder or changing a carburetor don't know really how to work on these new electric or hybrid cars as well. So they have folks sitting in Germany that are the original manufacturers or engineers that are dialing into service centers at dealerships. And we have BMW and VW and Lexus. These are all different car manufacturers that are using the HMT-1 in order to see, have the experts see what that technician's seeing who may not know how to troubleshoot a particular job because of the newness of the technology. So as our technology advances so quick, we need to train the people to repair and operate that same technology. And these are the types of systems that the generation coming into the workforce now is really, really responding well to. So
I would think NASA would want to use these during a spacewalk. You could tell somebody, oh yeah, pick up that wrench over there. This is, you could see all the valuable places.
We would love NASA to do it. Now, I don't know how many astronauts I won't sell, but maybe 12 or 15, but it's not a big market.
It's not a big market, but it's a good market.
That's
it's
right.
As used in space.
That's right.
Very cool. So is this eventually going to be a consumer technology, or is this really, as far as you're concerned, it's an industrial technology?
Well, it is an industrial technology, but I have been pleasantly surprised at all the different ways and places that it goes. And we talked about the media training someone to set up a different situation for filming or whatnot. Well, we have a couple advisors that were former NBA players, and they're using the system to put that system on amateur coaches in like China. And they're teaching these young kids how to play basketball from the United States, from Philadelphia, from New York, sitting there in their living room, logging in once a month for an hour or 2 hours and going through a set of different training things and seeing what that amateur coach is seeing. So not only are they training the young kids, they're training those amateur coaches in China to be able to coach a little bit better. You know?
That's really
so
cool.
This exporting of high-end services and the partnering of technology with people, it's a few generations out. I mean, Elon Musk said recently, you know, don't underestimate the importance of people in automating factories. You still need people for a number of years to build out automation, to build out infrastructure. And these are the types of systems that we see that will help with that as we continue to evolve as a species.
He actually learned that lesson. He said, I over-automated the Model 3 production line. We had to put people back in. You need people still.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Kyle, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Leo. Go ahead and say disconnect call, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care. Disconnect call. I'm really impressed with how good you got the voice recognition. Whose voice recognition are you using in this?
So we're using a whole bunch of different ones. The base core sort of language pack is from Nuance. And Nuance just does a very, very good job.
Yeah,
and then
they were dragging Naturally Speaking. They really have the...
Oh, yeah.
They've had it longer
They've had a long run with it. And then some of the speech algorithms that take and filter out the noise and all of that, we use sort of a recipe that is our proprietary sort of secret recipe. And that's how it just is so robust in especially noisy environments.
That's pretty cool.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Would you use this, you think, in
I'm ready to use it
in the
tomorrow.
Pixel Core?
Yeah, well, for me, the number one thing I would use it for immediately is building training videos, because now I can, that's what I was using, and I just, you know, I broke both my glass. You know, they break right over the ear.
Yeah,
and,
these guys, don't worry about it.
I know.
Just throw it on the table.
Hey, I'll show you something
Wait a minute,
else.
how much is this? If you what?
It's $2,000. Let's
oh
just
my
get
God!
her.
There you go.
Oh, the humanity!
Do that with glass and see how much it works. Right?
But it has to be in an industrial environment.
Yeah, so I'd be using them tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely.
That's nice. So glass was
Let me make sure all your
non-IP66
equipment isn't.
Yeah, no, our equipment's all right.
All right.
Who cares anyway? That is really impressive. I am thrilled that you came in, Andy. This is really neat stuff. How widespread is the use of this?
So we're very widespread. One of the things we did is we started out by making sure we were type approved and we could sell into every country. Because if you get a customer like Pepsi or Colgate,
they're international.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And so you have to be everywhere. So we're global right now. We're doing really, really well in China. taking off like you wouldn't believe it, even though you don't necessarily associate China with new tech. They really,
it is
really
the manufacturing capital of the world.
It
now,
is, and this is something that goes real well with what they're trying to do internal country. But we're also in Europe, we're in the United States, we're in South America, we're just about everywhere that you can possibly imagine. And like I said, it ranges from sports coaching all the way through nuclear power plant decommissioning. So just the amount of things that you can do with a system like that are just, it just boggles the mind.
This is running Android.
Correct.
I just saw that on the screen, Android 6.
That's right.
So does that mean you could write your own applications for this?
Oh, absolutely. And you can actually not only write your own applications with our companion software, you can drag an application that's already been written for Android and it'll just run on the system.
Oh, wow.
It turns it and voice enables it automatically, our software.
Really interesting.
So,
wow.
Yeah, so it's very, very easy to scale, easy to use existing software that you might already be using in your industrial sorts of situations. Right. Use it now voice enabled versus using it with a gesture and handheld tablet.
Andy Lowery, co-founder and CEO of RealWear, realwear.com if you want to find out more. And by the way, very comfortable. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is, I mean, it's a little
well balanced.
It's a little heavier than a glass was.
But it doesn't feel like it's pulling to one side or, you know, I think that was the problem when I wore glass for a long period of time. There was this kind of
was like this.
tend to pull.
Yeah.
This is just kind of attached.
No, I could wear that all day.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Andy, thank you.
All right.
Really
thanks,
appreciate
Leo.
it. Really
thanks,
neat
Alex.
stuff.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.